couple of weeks ago, I went to a restaurant. I went in, there wasn't a lot of people, but I had walked past it a few times and I saw that there was cheap drinks on the board they had outside. And then when I walked in, I sat down and I looked at the menu and I realized that I had been basically scammed. There was a charge on the menu for 1,000 yen, about $10 just for sitting down. What happened? Was I scammed? And what can you do to prevent this from happening to you in the future? So for those that don't know me, my name is Mark, and I am an American currently living and working in Japan. Let's start with some red flags, with some things that you should look out for whenever you go to a restaurant in Tokyo, or honestly really any restaurant in the world. I think this all applies. First, check out online and look for reviews. So in the United States, a lot of people, they will use Yelp, but Yelp isn't super popular in Japan. People will still use it. It's okay. You can look at it. Probably the most popular one is called Table Dog. I'll try to leave a link in the description for it, but it has a lot of reviews for restaurants online. The only downside is a lot of the reviews are in Japanese, so you might need to use like a translate app on your phone, but I would probably just look at the numbers for the restaurants, like the ratings. Normally, if you can get above a 3-star, that's pretty decent. If you're above a 4-star, like that's really good. Anything less than a 3, I probably would avoid unless you know it. So for example, like if you really like McDonald's might have, below a 3-star, but people have their own personal view on a place like McDonald's, so you can make your own decision. All McDonald's are pretty much the same. I would highly recommend going to McDonald's in Japan because they have a couple things that you won't find at a lot of other McDonald's. If it has like no reviews, a low review, or very few reviews, I'd probably avoid it. If it has a bunch of customers but no reviews, it might be okay. Just like, if you see a lot of Japanese people in the restaurant, it's probably fine. On the flip side of that, if there are no customers and no reviews, it's either a brand new restaurant, and unless they have like signs somewhere saying like grand opening, I'd also probably avoid it. Just on a side note, I think it's kind of funny because I noticed that a lot of people, not just Japanese people, but I think people in general will really respond to other people being in a restaurant. So just because there is a lot of customers doesn't necessarily mean that there's a lot of customers all the time. So I walk to work and there is a store that I walk past. It's a little counter just like kind of on the side of the road. I don't know if it's a counter, but it's like a window where you can go buy chicken and fries is what they sell there. And every day I walk past it, there isn't any customers at all. It's like I walk past it, and there's like maybe like one person buying something, and then one day they had a sign for a sale. They said, "Sale! Wow! Everything 50% off." I don't think it was actually 50% off because like I walk past there every day and the prices all looked about the same to me, but there was a line of like 20 people all just in line for this chicken, and like I don't really understand how people know about these sales or why people come, especially because it doesn't seem like it's that good of a deal. Like another time I went to I walk past a McDonald's every day. I've never actually been to this McDonald's, but I'm sure it's fine. And normally there is like a decent amount of people, but there's not like a line out the door. But then one day they had a sign that said sale, and I think they were saving like 10 yen off their burger or something. But there was a line out the door. So it looks like people really respond well to sales in Japan. I don't really know how people know about it, but somehow people find out about these sales and they're all in line. Anyways, so what happened to me at the restaurant I mentioned earlier? Well, what happened was I had received a table charge. Now, a table charge is not a scam. It's actually expected. it does feel kind of like a scam if you're not expecting it, or if they don't make it very clear before you sit down, they are actually going to charge you. So the one that I got for 1,000 yen, that felt a bit like a scam to me because they had no documentation of the table charge anywhere until I actually sat down and they had started to serve me food. I felt like, I was at a point where I couldn't leave. But in reality, if this happens to you, don't feel too bad about leaving. Like, if you get down and you didn't realize there was a table charge and you look at the menu and you see that they're about to charge you, it's fine. You can walk out and leave. And if you want to double check, you can either try to ask in English if there's a table charge, or you can ask for a menu. And normally the menu will say it's somewhere on there. And if you can't read for Japanese, most restaurants will have an English menu. So if you want to ask for an English menu, you can literally just ask in English, can I have an English menu? And they'll probably figure it out by context. Because menu happens to be Japanese, so you could say like, menu. You could say, like, if you want to actually try to say it in Japanese, you can say, Eigo no menu kudasai, or Eigo no menu onegaishimasu. Eigo or Ego is kind of like Eggo waffle, I think. Like, Eigo is English, no is kind of like possessive, so it's like, English is menu. Eigo no menu. And then kudasai is just please, or onegaishimasu is like a really polite form of please. So eigo no menu kudasai, and they'll give you the menu. And if they don't have one, they'll let you know. Typically, the table charges are going to be in the 300 yen to around 1,000 yen. 1,000 yen is pretty high. 300 yen is fairly typical. And there's actually a decent reason why a lot of restaurants will do it. A table charge, it's because, there's probably various reasons, but one, you're not paying a tip, so kind of think of the table charge as it's like your tip, is the way I think about it, because in the United States, you're paying just like a little extra to pay for the server. In Japan, you're going to pay a little bit extra for the table charge, but it's literally only when you get a table, not when you're like sitting at a counter or you get something to go. So the reason they do that is because, one of the reasons they do that is because in Japan, a lot of people will want to hang out with their friends out on the town, and people won't normally hang out at each other's houses because people, at least in Tokyo, will have pretty small houses, and there's not really a lot of room for guests, or if you want to have like a large group of friends, 5-10 people. So people will normally hang out at the restaurants for a long period of time, maybe a couple hours. The restaurant wants to get a little bit something for the space that you're getting, so they're going to charge you a little extra for taking up a whole table. But it's also kind of cool because restaurants will normally allow you to stay for a long time. So and if you're coming in and they're full, they'll sometimes just realize that the people who are there are going to be there for a long time. So they'll just say yeah, we're full, try tomorrow. Come back later. It happens all the time where I'll go to a restaurant and they'll just be completely full and they'll be like, yeah, nope, all of our customers are here sitting at their table. They already paid their table charge. You gotta come back later, try again tomorrow, come back again earlier, try it again in a few hours. Normally, they won't just wait. I wasn't actually scammed at the beginning. The table charges are something you need to look out for, and if you're not expecting it, it can seem a little bit like a scam. But in all reality, you're probably not going to get scammed in Japan. Japan's a really safe country. If you like videos like this, make sure you like and subscribe, and stay tuned because I'm going to be making a ton more videos like this comparing the United States and Japan. So, alright, see you in the next one.